Good morning, dear students. Today we will discuss the phase diagram of two component systems with incongruent melting point. So particularly we will study sodium-potassium system here. This is a two-component system involving formation of a compound with incongruent melting point. Now first of all we must know what is incongruent melting point, what type of compounds are these. In the present case, sodium-potassium system, the compound formed is disodium potassium. This disodium potassium decomposes before the melting point. Such type of compound which decompose before the melting point is reached are known to have incongruent melting point. Now, in this case, the sodium-potassium system, the melting points of pure sodium and potassium are 97.8 degrees Celsius and 63.8 degrees Celsius respectively. And they result into the formation of a compound which is disodium potassium Na2K, which decomposes before the melting point to give solid Na and liquid melt at a temperature of 70 degrees Celsius. This temperature is known as the incongruent melting point and paratactic temperature of compound Na2K. So the sodium-potassium system phase diagram will consist of four phases: solid potassium, solid sodium, solid Na2K and liquid melt containing sodium and potassium. Now this reaction is showing the transition or paratactic reaction at incongruent melting point, where one solid is decomposing to give another solid phase plus the liquid melt. Here this solid can be Na2K, where Na2K is decomposing before the melting point to give solid Na phase plus liquid melt. Now this diagram which we are seeing in this slide, this is a general phase diagram for two component systems involving the formation of a compound with incongruent melting point, which is Na2K in the present case. So here we are having a general diagram where A and B compound, pure components, they are reacting to give AB2 compound, and this AB2 compound is having incongruent melting point. So in this general phase diagram, what we are observing here, in the area above the curve, here we are having the curve AC, CD and DB. Above these curves, this area is representing the liquid melt containing components A and B. As we are cooling this liquid melt, corresponding to different composition, different solid phases will separate out. For example, if we are having a liquid mixture corresponding to this composition, suppose represented by point X. In that case, if we are cooling that liquid mixture, on reaching this curve AC, solid A will start separating out. So along this curve we are having solid A and liquid melt in equilibrium with each other. Now on further cooling this liquid melt, on reaching this line which is passing through the C point, on reaching this line, what will happen at this temperature, this compound AB2 will also start formation, form below this line, so that we are having two solid phases under this line in this area, where these two phases are solid A and compound AB2. Now suppose we are having a liquid mixture of composition corresponding to this point above line CD. If you will cool this compound AB2 will start separating out on reaching this line. So this compound AB2 will be in equilibrium with the liquid state along this curve CD. Now at point D, what is happening? This compound AB2 is decomposing to give solid phase solid B. So at point D, there are three phases in equilibrium: compound AB2, solid B and liquid melt. Now what this E point is representing? This E point is the hypothetical congruent melting point. Hypothetical congruent melting point means this will be the melting point of this compound if it is not showing the incongruent behavior before the melting point. Means if it is not decomposing before the melting point, then we can extend this line up to point E. So this is the hypothetical congruent melting point of compound AB2. Now, as this compound is decomposing before the melting point, so at point D, before reaching the point E, this compound is decomposing to give solid B plus liquid melt. So in this area we are having liquid plus compound AB2. In this area we are having liquid plus solid B. Now below this line what we are having solid B plus compound AB2. If we are having a liquid mixture which is above the line BD, above the curve BD, you will see, as we are having represented by the point Y, if this is the composition of the liquid mixture and we are cooling it, as you will cool it along this curve, on reaching this curve, solid B will start separating out. On further cooling down, on reaching the line passing through CD corresponding to this temperature, what will happen? This solid B will undergo paratactic reaction or transition reaction and it will decompose to give solid AB2. No, it will not decompose. It will react with the A in the melt to give AB2 compound. So on reaching this line, this solid B is giving us this compound. So this compound formation is taking place below this line. So in this area we are having two phases in equilibrium which are compound AB2 and liquid melt. Now we will study this general phase diagram by applying it to sodium-potassium system. Now as we are looking in this figure, in this diagram what we are having, first of all, we are applying here the condensed phase rule which is F dash is equal to C minus P plus 1. We are using this rule, the reason being we are studying here solid and liquid phases. So pressure is having not any effect on this type of system. So degree of freedom for such a system is reduced by 1. So overall reduced phase rule is used for this condensed phase system, according to which F dash is equal to C minus P plus 1. Now this diagram is similar to the general phase diagram we have already seen in the last slide. Here we are having liquid melt in this area. Under the curve AC we are having solid K and liquid melt. In the area CEG we are having solid Na2K and liquid melt, and below this line we are having solid K and solid Na2K. Similarly, in case of area BDH, we are having Na solid plus melt, and in the area IHKL, we are having solid Na plus solid Na2K. Now the phase diagram contains the following curve and points, as we have already discussed in general diagrams. In this figure what we are having here, curve AC is the freezing point curve of potassium, to which we are adding different amount of sodium. So this curve is showing the lowering in the freezing point of potassium by addition of sodium, and it continues till the point C is reached. Now the added Na, that is going into the solution, and potassium is getting separated out till point C is reached. On cooling below the C, along with potassium, a new compound will also start to form, that is Na2K. This we have already discussed in general phase diagrams. The liquid melt which is corresponding to this composition, suppose X, as it is cooled down, what we are having on reaching this line, this curve, this solid potassium will start separating out. So this solid potassium will be in equilibrium with the liquid melt up to we are reaching the point C. Now reaching at this temperature, which is equal to minus 12 degrees Celsius, what will happen? A new solid phase is going to form, which is Na2K. So below this line we are having two phases which are solid K and solid Na2K. Now all along the curve AC we are having two phases. So applying the reduced phase rule, we are having number of degrees of freedom 1. So system is univariant along the curve AC. At point C we are having three phases in equilibrium, which are solid potassium, solid Na2K and liquid melt. So the degree of freedom is 0. So point C is having no degree of freedom and it is known as eutectic point. Curve CD. Along the curve CD, again two phases are in equilibrium, which are solid Na2K and liquid melt. Applying the reduced phase rule along the curve, again we are having F dash equal to 1. So system is univariant along the curve CD. At point D, the solid Na2K decomposes to give solid phase Na plus liquid melt NaK. So S1 is decomposing to give S2 plus liquid melt. If further compound would be stable as having congruent melting point, then the curve may be extended up to stable melting point E, which is not possible in the present case. So point E may be taken as hypothetical congruent melting point of this solid Na2K. This will be known as hypothetical congruent melting point of disodium potassium. Now, what is the point D? At point D, there are three phases are present. Solid Na2K, this is solid Na and liquid melt. Now, again the system will be invariant as the degree of freedom will become equal to 0 by using the reduced phase rule, and this point D represents the eutectic point. Now, curve DB. Curve DB is what? It is the freezing point curve of sodium to which we are adding different amounts of potassium. Point B is corresponding to the melting point of pure Na. To this melt of Na, as we are adding potassium, it goes into the melt and solid Na begins to separate out. Curve DB represents the freezing point curve of Na to which we are adding increasing amount of potassium. On cooling beyond D, the solid Na react with potassium in the melt to form disodium potassium. All along the curve DB, there are two phases in equilibrium, solid Na and liquid melt. Now again by applying the reduced phase rule, we will find that curve DB is univariant. At point D, there are three phases in equilibrium, solid Na, solid Na2K and liquid melt. Now applying the reduced phase rule, F dash is equal to 0. So we are having system is invariant at point D. Now this is all the areas represented in the phase diagram, and from the phase diagram we can see in which area how many phases are in equilibrium. So what you will observe in the area above ACDB, you will have only one liquid phase. So the degree of freedom is 2. In all other areas, you will see there are two phases in equilibrium. So in every case, you will have degree of freedom equal to 1. So the system will be univariant in all other areas except the area ACDB. This area ACDB will be bivariant and all other areas will be univariant. Now the study of behavior of cooling the melt we have already discussed. Here it is written in detail. If we are having the system at composition X1, there will be a single phase liquid melt. The point X1 dash represents the point where liquid begins to freeze. At this point, some solid Na will freezes out and the remaining liquid will become richer in potassium. As the temperature is lowered, on reaching Y1, a reaction occurs to form disodium potassium. This compound is formed by the potassium atoms from melt diffusing into the solid Na. At this stage, the liquid melt will be in equilibrium with the little solid Na2K, but there will be no liquid disodium potassium formed at any stage. The reason being it is not having congruent melting point, so at any stage you will not be able to find out the liquid Na2K. It is only feasible in the solid state. It is only stable in the solid state. On further cooling below Y1, the amount of solid Na2K increases until reaching line Cg, where Cg corresponding to the temperature minus 12 degrees Celsius. Then it will solidify to give two solid phases which are represented here by the area FgJK, solid K plus solid Na2K. Now if we will reheat the solid, again the whole process will take place and the sequence will be reversed. And you will not be able to get liquid Na2K at any stage. So this is all about the sodium potassium system. Thank you.